Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So the Premier League is finally back this weekend. We are finally back to Premier League football. Club football is back. The international break is gone, and there is a lot for us to sink our teeth into in this video today. Plenty of Newcastle United news to get into in this video today. And to start it all off, of course, we'll talk about the recent news that has just come out today. Of course, Newcastle United have announced the renewed partnership with Saudia Airlines, or just Saudia, the official airline, of course, of Saudi Arabia. And Newcastle have renewed our partnership with them. We will now, of course, be continuing on that partnership with Saudia. Newcastle announcing it, of course, this morning with a video on the official social media accounts. Saudia also putting it up on their social media accounts as well, announcing that Newcastle United had agreed the renewed deal. Now, obviously, we all know that Saudia came in back on the 16th of November 2022, of course, when Newcastle were heading away to the Middle East for the warm weather training trip. And of course, they were also the official tour airline partner for the Dubai Season Cup as well, out in Riyadh. Newcastle have renewed the partnership, of course, with Saudia, and they will be the club's official airline partner for the 23-24 and beyond. Of course, the multi-year partnership follows Saudi's support for the club during the 22-23 season, when the Saudi Arabian national carrier flew the Magpies first team between Newcastle International Airport and Riyadh for warm weather training and a match against Al Hilal. The partnership will see Saudi engage with Newcastle United supporters around the world through exclusive offers and experiences, as well as reaching billions of football fans around the globe. Although the club's through the club's digital channels and international television viewership, the Newcastle chief commercial officer, of course, Peter Silverstone, said this is a natural step in our growing relationship with Saudi and follows our hugely successful partnership in 2022. We were incredibly impressed with Saudi, both on board our flights to and from the Middle East and in what we experienced as our teams activated our partnership during the 22-23 season. Saudi's partnership activations were extremely well received by our growing local and global fan base, with incredible digital results being achieved by both parties, of course. Then, of course, the Saudi Airlines Chief Marketing Officer Khalid Tash also had some pretty good things to say. But before we talk about that, of course, our ambition is to grow Newcastle United globally and to become the most popular Premier League club in Saudi Arabia and other territories around the world. Saudi will open up new markets for Newcastle United as we strengthen our connection with fans across the globe. We are very excited about the journey ahead. We relish the challenge and opportunity to support Saudi as it looks to expand its route network and reach new audiences through the huge global awareness Newcastle United can provide. Saudi's Group Chief Marketing Officer Khalid Tash said, at Saudi we have always strived to create meaningful connections that transcend boundaries, and our partnership with Newcastle United aligns with this vision. We recognised in Newcastle United, a club with a rich history, strong values, and a passionate fan base that resonates with our own principles. The opportunity to connect with Newcastle United's fan base is a source of great excitement. The prospect of forging a bond with millions of fans and bringing them across to our brand and values and to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is truly exciting. He also then goes on to say, with our expanding route network and premier product, we are keen to reach new audiences, showcasing Saudi Arabia to the UK population, but also growing awareness of the multiple leisure and business travel destination Saudi provides through its hyper-connected global network. Air Saudi connects passengers from more than 100 destinations around the world to Saudi Arabia via its state-of-the-art hub at King Abdulaziz International Airport in Jeddah and other key terminals around Saudi Arabia. So this is a massive piece of business for Saudi and Newcastle United. This is going to be a huge commercial benefit for us as a club as well. And I would not be surprised if we see maybe Saudi, at some point going on the front of the Newcastle United shirts and being the front of shirt sponsor, of course. But at the end of the day, that is something that we have seen coming. There is, according to other news that I've seen going around as well, there is a Chinese company also in the works. There's a Chinese deal also in the works. I don't know who that deal is with, but there is a Chinese deal in the works as well for another commercial partner coming into the club. We might as well cover the elephant in the room. Of course, going into this match at the weekend, of course, the news that's been going around for the last few weeks, I'd say now, of, Sandro Tonali, will he play at the weekend? Well, in my eyes, I think he will. To be honest, nothing's been done yet about the whole gambling saga that's going on in Italy. That involves 40 players, by the way, not just Sandro Tonali, not just Zaniolo of Aston Villa or Fagioli of Juve, but 40 players. Only 3 players have been mentioned, and mostly Sandro Tonali has been the main focus of the news. He has been the one that they've been focusing on the most, and I wonder why that is. But at the end of the day, we all know why it is. It's because he plays for Newcastle United. It's because anything that is Newcastle United in the news is going to get clicks. Everybody knows that. And that is why, they are focusing mainly on Sandro Tonali. I'm sure there's other players in there that they could be focusing on as well, but they want to focus it on Sandro Tonali, want to focus it on Newcastle United because of the reason that, anything with Newcastle United's name on it right now is getting clicks like crazy. And of course, it's a chance for the media outlets out there and for the rival fans as well out there to have a pop at Newcastle United. At the end of the day, he's only a young lad. If he has done it, which his agent's coming out and saying that he has done, betting, but at the end of the day, he's only a young lad. We've all done daft things, at the end of the day, but I'd say give the lad a chance. He's trying to prove himself here in England, here in the Premier League. It's hard enough as it is for the lad, having to move from Italy, where he's been for a very long time, to come to an environment where, he's still trying to settle in, and then have this also added up on top of him as well. Hopefully he gets the right help out there, but at the end of the day, there's nothing officially come out yet from the Italian courts. We're just basically getting this news from the Italian media, and we know that the Italian media have been known to lie about things. So, at the end of the day, let's just wait, see what happens. There's a lot of people speculating how long he will be banned for as well if he does get a ban. I say just wait it out, let's not speculate on these things. At the end of the day, this is a person's livelihood here. Let's not speculate on, how long this lad's going to get a ban for, if he does get a ban at all. Because, at the end of the day, it could just be another piece of lying news from the Italian media. But at the end of the day, moving away from that, I do believe he will be playing at the weekend. I don't think anything's going to stop him from playing at the weekend, to be honest, because there's nothing being done yet on the Italian side of things, and no information's come out on that yet. So until it does, then he will be playing at the weekend in my eyes. But let's look at, of course, the main focus of this video. Let's look at, of course, the teams going into the weekend, how, of course, we're going to line up in this game at the weekend on Saturday as we, of course, return to Premier League football against Crystal Palace. Now, this is a game what I would expect, of course, were to do really well in. Yes, Crystal Palace have been doing some good stuff at the moment, but I do believe we've got the edge to, overtake them. It's at St James's Park. Unfortunately, it's going to be in the old-fashioned 3 p.m. kickoff, so it means that it's not going to be on live television again. So it is back to, of course, the old favoured overseas streams to be able to watch the game. But I don't have a problem with that as long as I get to see the game at the end of the day. That's all that matters to me. Eddie Howe, of course, takes the lads into this game unbeaten in our last 7 league and cup outings, while at home we have won each of our last 4 home fixtures in all competitions. All 3 meetings of course, Newcastle and Palace last season were scoreless, with a Carabao Cup tie on Tyneside settled in, of course, Newcastle's favour by a penalty shootout. I had to listen to that one on the radio. Wasn't very exciting, to be honest. Having to listen to it on the radio, I would have preferred to see it, but unfortunately, the broadcasters did not decide to put that one on for viewing at home. Crystal Palace going into this game have sold required 1,700 allocation for the game, so they will have a sold out crowd up in the Guards on level 7. Newcastle's team going into the game, we are going to be having Anthony Gordon back in the side after serving a 1-match ban against West Ham for reaching 5 yellow cards in the Premier League, wrongfully reaching 5 yellow cards as well, I may add, as the referee wrongfully yellow carded Anthony Gordon in the previous match to the West Ham game. It should have been, of course, Elliot Anderson getting the card instead, but a mistake of identity ended up with Anthony Gordon getting the yellow card. Assuming he faces, of course, Palace at the weekend, which I'm sure he will have had a break of 16 days between matches, which compares favourably to the 9 days he managed between ending last season playing for England's under-21s and making a first appearance in pre-season for Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes is one booking away as well from earning his own 1-game ban, so hopefully, he can keep cool at the weekend and hopefully doesn't have to get too involved in the defensive side of things for the game. Harvey Barnes remains out with a foot problem. That is probably going to be for quite a while as well. Hopefully he does make some sort of return this season, but I'm not too sure on that one. Only time will tell. And of course, Sandro Tonali will feature in my eyes. At the end of the day, like I just said, there's nothing being done yet about the betting saga that is going on. So until there is, Sandro Tonali will play for Newcastle United. I am sure of that. News on the availability of Joe Willock, Alexander Isak, Joe Linton and Sven Botman is awaited, but it does look like, of course, Joe Linton has been in training. Alexander Isak's been in training as well. Joe Willock has been in training, and Botman, I think, has been in training as well. But Botman's posted photos, of course, of training sessions on social media in recent days, suggesting that he's ready to return from a 4-game absence for Newcastle. So that'll be interesting to see Botman back in the side because he has been absolutely on fire in the centre-back role. Isak was excused, of course, from international duty following an exemption from the Swedish medical staff on a groin strain he picked up at West Ham, but I think he will more than likely feature at the weekend, be it maybe from the bench, but he will feature, I'm sure of that. And let's look at the Crystal Palace team going into the game. Now, this is where it's going to get very interesting. Crystal Palace have got a lot of players out right now. At the moment, I think it is about 11 players, I believe it is, that they have out right now. They've got Etsy out, they've got Nathan Ferguson out, they've got Olise out, they've got Lerma out, You know, they've got so many different players out, but quite a few of the players are coming back in as well. With, of course, the likes of Decore coming back into the side. Jefferson Lerma might return to the side as well. On the roads in the Premier League so far this season, Hodgson's side have recorded 1-0 wins at both, of course, Sheffield United and Manchester United, a 1-1 draw at Brentford, and a 3-1 defeat against Aston Villa. The referee for the game will be Tim Robinson. We renew acquaintance with the whistler from West Sussex for the first time since his very first Premier League fixture back in December 2019. A 1-0 loss for Newcastle, of course, at Burnley. Saturday will be his 7th ever top flight match, and he's yet to reach for a red card in the Premier League. Hopefully he doesn't do that at the weekend, unless it is for Crystal Palace, which would be really nice at the end of the day, though I don't think we need that, to be honest, because I think we do have enough in the tank to be able to take them on without them having to get a man sent off in the game. Newcastle have failed to win any of the 5 senior competitive fixtures involving, of course, Robinson, as he has overseen, beginning with a trio of championship games back in the 16-17 campaign. Of course, down in the championship, and the VAR will be Simon Hooper for the game. But like I say, hopefully, you know, at the weekend we can come away 3 points in the bag, make it 8 games unbeaten in all competitions. That would be absolutely amazing, as we then go into, of course, the game after that, where we take on Borussia Dortmund, of course, at St James's. That will be the next game after the Crystal Palace game, so of course that's going to be an interesting one. Then after that we'll come back from that game at St James's, of course, against Borussia Dortmund, to take on Wolves down at the Molineux, of course, in that game, which is a 5:30 kickoff. That one will be on TV, and the Borussia Dortmund game will be on TV as well. And then, of course, we've got the Carabao Cup game against Man United, which will also be live on TV. Then the Arsenal game, which is also live on TV. Then the Borussia Dortmund game at Borussia Dortmund's ground, which is also on live TV for that game. But let's see, you know, how it plays out at the weekend as we take on Palace. Let's see, you know, if we can get the 3 points in the bag. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be interesting to see how Eddie will line up the squad as well for this game. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I know it has been a bit of a long video, but I wanted to try and get out all of the news, plus give you my thoughts heading into this game at the weekend against Crystal Palace at St James's Park. And until next time, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have liked the video and you do like the content on the channel. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one, and how are the lads?